Hi guys, thank you for all the questions. I've done a video on literally how to put yourself together as a filmmaker so that production companies and other filmmakers can take you seriously if trying to get work with them. So check the previous video out. Based on all the questions that we've gotten, I will be talking about cinematography, I would be talking about post-production, treatment, budget, sorting for clients, and relationships, I'm guessing, with artists, relationships with artists, actors, and with your crew. Well, we're going to start with the one that everyone's pretty much likes, cinematography. Let's get into it. So under cinematography, there is gear and software. Lighting is just one, and shooting process. So let's start with gear and software. A camera is just that. It's a camera. You can shoot an excellent music video with a DSLR camera. I shot a couple of things with the DSLR cameras. I did my short film Hex with the A7S. It was an amazing experience with the Schneider lenses. Oof. That camera would still be probably one of my favorite cameras just because of that experience with it. The very first time I shot with Humble Smith featuring Davido was the A7S. Yemi Alade Ferrari was with the A7S. The 5D Mark III, yes, also done a lot, but with the DSLR range, and that's just because of timing, not because I think it's the best, was the 7D. The 7Ds, I shot Two Faces Only Me. I did a lot of videos with the 7Ds. That being said, a camera is just a tool. You are the one that is the most important ingredients. There is no such thing as this is the best camera to shoot this. Every camera has its strengths and its weaknesses. Even the grandfather of all cameras, which would be 35mm film, and its elder brother, even they have their limitations. Bulky, they're bulky, they're very sensitive because of film stock and transfer. That's why for a long time documentary filmmakers stayed with 16mm cameras as opposed to 35mm. There are a lot of things that you think about when you're choosing a camera. What kind of environment you're going to go and shoot in, how hostile the environment is, what lighting do you have. Sometimes, I mean, I would go with the A7S and maybe even the new Panasonics. These days, if I'm shooting low light, just because that's the way the camera is designed. But also, if I'm in a run gun environment where I just need to be able to move and make the decisions by myself without a large crew, yeah, definitely would go for the smaller cameras. The smaller cameras give me joy. The bigger cameras are, apart from the fact that, yeah, there's a certain level of sharpness that you'd get, and a certain feel that like the Ari would give you, or like the Red would give you. You can get that same kind of feel with the smaller cameras. Your decision of length of a camera depends on what you're trying to achieve. Period. All right. If you're trying to get a very vintage old school feel, all right, sometimes the smaller cameras work better. If you're trying to get a glossy feel, depending on what it is that your client expects, sometimes the smaller camera is better. But most people get the bigger cameras because you want the clients to take you seriously. It's just the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just saying it's just the way it is. Because a lot of cinematographers will tell you that there are things that they can achieve with the smaller cameras that they can also achieve with the bigger cameras, but they feel more comfortable with the smaller cameras. But the client wants to be able to see big things. So if you're a filmmaker and you're making your own film, don't ever let the big cameras be, oh, it must be a big camera or nothing. If you're a director, if you're a DP, same thing. I think what he means is the anamorphic effect. Anamorphic lenses would give you that. There are a lot of classes on YouTube on how the anamorphic lenses do the squeeze. I'm probably not going to explain that in this episode. Maybe I may think of explaining that in another episode. I have a cheat that I kind of use in Premiere when I just want to like mess around with it. I don't think it's the right way to go about it, but usually I just go to Premiere and I click on the zoom part. There's a part where you can choose heights and width, and I just go just a little bit on the height, and it just kind of like expands a little. When I don't shoot with an anamorphic lens, but I want to be able to get that very Western, like the Westerns. Yes, that's what I do. Yeah, but it's a lot cleaner and it's a lot better if you shoot with an anamorphic lens. I shot with DSLR camera this year. It was my B camera for Olamide's Woma, which isn't out. I think we shot with Alexa, we shot with the A7S Mark II, and with the GoPros. I'll tell you guys a little secret. I think I'm actually going to go back to shooting a lot with the newer DSLR cameras. It's just more freeing for me. I have never shot with the GH5 before. I want to, I just haven't shot with the GH5 before. I would always choose log, whether it's Vlog, S-Log, C-Log, over any other profile. So that's me. It doesn't mean that that's the best, but that's just what I shoot on. It depends on what you're trying to achieve and what you're comfortable with. There is no better one, especially these days that they're becoming really fast in terms of speed. It's up to you, really. I used to be a red guy. Now I'm an Alexa guy. I still shoot with the red every once in a while. I guess I should also do that because it's what's available. I shoot with the A7S sometimes, but I'm not going to stay in this place with these formats forever. I keep evolving with the cameras that I shoot with, depending on availability and depending on curiosity and depending on what I feel comfortable with. So yes, in the past year and a half, it would be mostly the Alexa.